Kevin, let me start with you. You've said many times India is the perfect emerging market. What does that look like? What's a perfect emerging market?
Sure. Well, the reason that people want to invest in emerging markets to start with is because this is where most of the world's people are. They're younger, their economies are growing faster. And in terms of India, it is leading all of those categories. It's now bigger than China population wise, having passed them in April. It's got more than half of its population under the age of 30. It has the fastest growing economy. It's actually beaten the estimates the last 2 quarters and grown at over 7%. Most of that growth is in consumption. And what's coming along with that is $12 supercomputers. The smartphone is bringing those billions of consumers online for the first time. On top of that, you've got a government that's a democracy that's supporting technology, and you've got a talent pool that's really unmatched on the planet. So it really is, in every way, the perfect emerging market.
This $12 smartphone amazes me. I mean, the key to much of what you're talking about seems to be technology, particularly this digital identification system that India rolled out in 2009 and 2010. Tell us about what that entailed. It's quite remarkable technological.
Sure. Sure. What India has built is its own proprietary digital public infrastructure. Digital public infrastructure that most people are familiar with are things like the internet and GPS. India has built its own to run the whole country on, and it starts with a program called Aadhaar, which means foundation, which is a digital identification system where basically everybody in the country now is tied, their identity is tied to their fingerprints and their eyeball scan in this database that was launched in 2010. And what they've used that to do is basically enable about 800 million people to open a digital bank account using just their fingerprints and their eyeball, and also to open about 500 million new smartphone subscriptions. So they've brought everyone into the financial system, and they brought everyone there in a technological way. And it's a lot like China 15 years ago, except when China started to grow like this, it didn't have smartphones. Nobody had a smartphone, and now, as you mentioned, you can get a pocket-sized supercomputer for $12 in India.
Now, this amazes me. I mean, this is my iPhone. It's the new one, the 15th, over $1,000. How do you get a $12 smartphone? I mean, is that real? Actually, you can get a smartphone for $12?
Well, it's certainly real, and it's not an iPhone 15. It doesn't have all the power of any of the iPhones, but it serves the two main needs that the entry-level Indian consumer wants. First is payments, and that's where the digital story is really exploding. The number of digital payments in India, real-time digital payments, is exploding. It's almost half of the world's real-time digital payments. So that's the first thing they want it for. And the second is video, and it doesn't have the biggest screen, but it does get video, and with the lowest cost data in the world as well, offered by Reliance Jio, it's really been a game changer in India.
Who invented this system, by the way? I'm just curious. How did it come about?
Well, the Indian government had wanted to provide national identity cards, physical cards, for a long time. I mean, this was one of the problems that India had in developing, is that less than half of the people even had birth certificates. And so they wanted to start an ID card system, but they asked Nandan Nilekani, the chairman of Infosys, to be in charge of this program. And he insisted that they use a lot of technology and look to the future. And so he's really been the mastermind of this India stack, which really, again, no other country on the planet has anything like this in terms of a digital foundation for their entire economy.